glad to be back. We kind of unplugged for a couple of days and went to Richard's hockey tournament, and a lot of you guys missed us. I got a bunch of emails and text messages and just inquiries making sure that everything was okay. And yes, I can assure you everybody is fine. I am tired. It was a long weekend of chasing a bunch of 8 to 10-year-old kids around hockey rinks all over Massachusetts, but it was a good time. Let's see who's here. We got Josh Leach here, Bill Saflarski's here, Mike from Lake Ontario Firewood, Brianna Gorman in the VA hospital looking to enjoy a chat with all the wonderful wood lovers. Well, we're here, Brianna, so sorry to hear that you're in the hospital, but glad to have you along. Wise Choice Firewood, Brian, Shotliff Family Firewood, Tim Poor, Craig's Cord to Coles, Dennis Rexford, Rob outside in the 515. Robert Cox is here early tonight. Everybody's showing up. But yeah, no, I got all kinds of messages wanting to make sure that we were okay and that everything was good. We're good. We just took a weekend off and went and did hockey, so we had a good time. Clarence Dobson, Speedy, Brandon Hode, good evening. Brandon, I got your check for your Gramp stick. I don't know if you've seen your Gramp stick yet, but it's in the mail. Robert Daigle, good evening. Denny Hart, Dave Edwards, glad to see you. I saw your email and I emailed you back. We unplugged and went to go play hockey. I shut the YouTube stuff off. I shut the phone off for quite a bit, and we just went and did hockey and had a good time. BW35 and K-Train, Kevin Violet. Basso, Chuck, and Zach, how we doing, boys? Ted Miller, Stumps and Firewood. Ted, I saw the weather report for Hoosier. I'm going to bring a rain jacket. I am bringing a rain jacket for sure. Roman, good evening. Good to see you. Hoosier's weather report shows just a little bit of rain for Friday, but right now mine is saying 1.5 inches of rain for Saturday. That sounds a bit on the damp side to me. But I won't melt, and it's for a good cause, so I'll make it work one way or the other. It just slows things down when you get to work in weather like that, for sure. I got a couple of cool things to show you guys. I did a career day from my son's school, and he has a 3rd grade class, and I got some cards. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but somebody copied my YouTube channel sticker and wrote thank you, and then on the inside all of the kids signed the card. That was from one classroom, and then the other classroom somebody made an axe and put Willey's Firewood on it and said thank you, and put my logo again on the inside with all the signatures. So there you go. Yes, Mike, I did get your email. I still have a bunch of emails to go through from the end of last week when I took off to go play hockey, to get everybody's sticks out to them, to get invoices out to them. I've got a bunch more sticks coming from Derek. We are going to have all kinds of Gramp sticks going out again this week. I've got a brand new label printer right beside me, so that speeds things up. And behind me right here, that sucker right there, that's in tomorrow morning's video. And I got to tell you right now, that makes fire starters fast. So really, really cool. It's good to have things that speed the process up. Now the only thing that I have a hold up for is I don't have enough trays. I've got 600 fire starters over on the rack right here, all setting up and getting ready to pop out of molds in the morning, and we'll do it all over again. All right, Brian, tell him Russ says good night and go to sleep because it's a busy day tomorrow. School's coming. That's what I had to tell Richard. He didn't want to go to bed either, but he had a long, long weekend of hockey. So we found out that when you get out of the state of Maine, some states take hockey a little more seriously than other states do. And we had some teams from Vermont and Massachusetts that I think play hockey year-round. We're a Tier 3 program, and that's supposed to go by the size group of kids that you have to play with. Our Tier 3 is definitely a big step down from Tier 3 where we were playing. We went to Mass, and the boys got smoked the first 2 days, and we had a big heart-to-heart with them. We sat them down. We let them know, hey, look, this isn't the type of hockey that you guys are used to playing. We want to see what you guys can really do. Go show us. And they went out this morning, and we played a team that smoked us yesterday, and we only lost by 1 goal. We lost 3-2. The kids played their heart out, had probably the best game I've seen them play all year long, and really, really had a good time. So overall, even though we didn't win any trophies or come home with any awards, the kids had a good time, and I think we all learned a lot. So that's kind of the thing. Sometimes you learn more from losing than you'll ever learn from winning. So try to find something positive for everything and go from there. I saw some other people poking through, so let me scroll back here on the chat. Let's see who we got. Daniel Atkins, Connor McRae, good evening from Ireland. All the way across the pond, we appreciate you. Jason, Yadkin Valley Outdoors, Mike, Rusty's Garage and Homestead, Jeff Morgan. How you doing, guys? But some really exciting news. If there are any of you guys out there, and there's John from Mount Tammany Ridge. I just started watching your video before the live, John. I got to go back and finish it. You are going to have the best box store splitter out there when you're done. I don't think anybody will break it, that's for sure. Rob says his daughter played competitive travel softball all over the country. Did great up north, but when we were south of the Mason-Dixon line, they smoked us. There are some places that definitely take their sports more seriously than others. The place that we went is a huge indoor hockey complex. They have 8 rinks, and they had anything and everything that you could want for hockey all weekend long while we were there. That place was just bumping. Ron Brooks. Oh yeah, I'm still alive. And you're still alive too, but very sore. Getting very antsy to do something yet. Even though you got logs coming, Ron, listen to your body and just listen and take your time. Don't push it. It's not worth pushing it, especially the end of the season right now. You got all summer long to get ready for next year. So don't get too antsy and push it just yet. But glad to see you here. So I've been working and trying to get in with Saw Supplier for a while now. We now have our own discount code that I can offer to all of you guys for Saw Supplier. It'll save you 10% if you use Willey 10, Willey 10. It'll save you 10%. You get free shipping. But I just wanted to let you guys know what that kind of translates to. So when I bought my 7310 locally with a 20-inch bar, I paid just shy of $1,200 out the door, tax and all. Saw Supplier's price without any discount at all is $100 less than that at $10.99 with a 20-inch lightweight bar. But then if you put in my 10% discount, you can get a 7310 with a 20-inch light bar for $990. That's a smoking deal. That's over $200 less than I paid for mine. Gramp's favorite saw, the Echo 620, I paid just shy of $700 for it when we bought it. $639 is Saw Supplier's normal price with a 20-inch lightweight bar. With a 20-inch lightweight bar and the Willey 10 discount, $575. That's a smoking deal on those saws. And it goes for Husky and Echo. So I know there's guys out there that they run Husky, that's all they run. We carry a full line of Husqvarna saws. And the prices are just as good. And you can use the Willey 10, and that will get you your discount for Saw Supplier. So we'll have that link in all of the on all of the videos down below. We'll put the link for Saw Subscriber in there, and when we get all of that stuff done, we'll be able to go from there. So Jason said he paid $649 for his 620, so it could have saved you about $75, and that's definitely a savings. I like saving $75 anytime I can, that's for sure. Logger Jason, the Arborwear pants. I saw Jason in here. Jason, if you have that code, I've got a bunch of guys that want those pants. So if you can either message me that code or something like that, I'll make sure that it gets there and we'll get a bunch of those running out. The chains that we're running the Oregon EXL chains, full chisel, round file, 3/8. Nothing special, just sharpened by Gramp. That's the special. So that's very, very good. They also have the Red Armor Echo Oil on Saw Supplier. So up here, I pay a little over $3 a piece for a 1 gallon mix from our local dealer. If you buy the 48 count case, it's $92 for 48 of them. It's less than $2, so saves about 33% versus buying local. They have the 2 gallon 48 count cases of the mix for $134. So I talked to Gramp, Mike, and we are going to get a video of Gramp sharpening, and we're probably going to get it this week because I'm going to go over and I'm going to steal the Echo saws from him before we head to Hoosier, because we've got some comparison videos that we want to do with some of the other channels that are down there, and I want Gramp to sharpen them both before we go. So I'm going to go over, we'll put the camera on a tripod, and we'll see if we can get him to talk. I doubt we'll get him to talk, but we'll definitely get a video of him sharpening at least, just to make sure that they're touched up and ready to go. And we're going to bring those down to Hoosier. So we'll go there for sure and get that done. So we will have a Gramp sharpening video coming soon. Everybody has been asking for it for a while. It's muscle memory. He doesn't see very well anymore, but he just knows by feel what he's got to do. Yeah, the discount code for the Sugiharas, those are on sale right now. So anything that's already on sale, they don't have an extra discount for. So the Sugiharas right now, I believe, are buy one, get one half off or something like that, which is a great deal in its own. But yeah. And Josh Leach, yes, we are headed out early Thursday morning. Jason Yadkin, they do offer 2.5 gallon premixes. They are sold out right now. So when I was looking through, they had 1 gallon and 2 gallon premixes, and I believe they had some 5 gallon premixes too. But yes, they do offer different sizes, and they offer different oils too. So if you really want to run a different oil, you can. We run the Echo Red Armor in everything that we run. If it's 2-cycle, it gets Echo Red Armor. So there's that. The storms rolling through the Midwest, I don't know about that, Mercury Man, but we've got an ice storm going right now outside of our house, and we're getting a lot of ice right now. Tomorrow will be a fire starter, an inside day, all day for sure, and go from there. Just make 2 gallons at a time, Jason. It's all good. That's all we do. We do 2 gallons at a time, or 2.5. Whatever they've got is what we get. Normally our saw shop up here has got the 2.5 gallons, but we do 2 gallon mixes too. I'll buy the 2 gallons and we'll just do 2 gallons at a time. They also sell it by the gallon, so if you want to buy it by the gallon or something like that and measure out your own oil, you can do it that way too, and then mix whichever you like. So that's pretty cool. The other thing I saw looking through Saw Supplier is they have Oregon chains at probably the best price that I've seen just about anywhere, and they say that if you can find it cheaper somewhere else, they will give you a coupon on your next order to make up for the difference. So they're offering like a $5 coupon if you find it cheaper somewhere else, and from looking at their prices, they're about $7 or $8 less a chain than what I pay at the local saw shop for Oregon chains right now. So that's really, really cool. Supposed to get a load of ash and cherry today. Mother Nature decided I didn't need them this morning. Well, I was going to do some stuff in the wood yard, and we got as far as probably Portland area, and it started icing and hailing and sleeting. And from Portland to our house is normally about a 2-hour ride. 3.5 hours later, I was home, and we're definitely going to have a fun couple of days if we get as much ice as what they're saying tonight. So we'll see. Not looking forward to it, but it is what it is. 15 for 24-inch loops. Is that what you're paying, Iffy Kid, or is that their price on there? I didn't write down prices on the chains because I just didn't have time. I just got the discount code probably an hour and a half or so ago. I was trying to finish up some fire starters and things like that, and then go from there. So if he pays that, okay. I'm not sure what their price is, and I do know that if you buy 10 at a time, it's an even better price. So the more you buy with these guys, the better your price is. So if you're able to buy in volume and use volume, definitely go for it and do that. So Dino Joe does a really good job decking and porting saws. There's all kinds of great saw builders. Steel stuff, Donnie Walker does a pretty good job with steel, and so does Charles Briscoe. You can kind of look around on YouTube, and all of the big guys are going to pop up, and they're all about the same price range and price wise. So it all depends on what you want to get done out of it, and just look at what they've built and go from there. So this is actually a commercial wax melter. I bought that because melting wax has been the slowest part of my process. Somebody told me to use an old deep fryer. That didn't sound safe to me, so I bought a commercial wax melter. I can melt 20 pounds of wax now in about 25 minutes, which is absolutely awesome because that would have taken me hours before in the oven the way that I was doing it. So I made 600 fire starters in less than 2 hours total time when I got home today. And really, really, really nice unit, and it's fairly inexpensive. I think that was about 120 bucks. So that's probably the best $120 I've spent in quite a while. Cody Harrison, just see you poke in. Good evening, good to see you. So we're up in the fire starter game. I should have 3 to 4, maybe 5,000 fire starters that we'll bring down to Hoosier Firewood. So if anybody wants fire starters, we'll have a bunch there to pick up and go from there. Yep, I ran AMSOIL before. I ran the Eliminator series, AMSOIL, and then I also used to run Klotz when I was racing. I used to race ATVs and snowmobiles, and I ran Klotz oil in all my race machines. I don't know if it's any better or not. It's definitely more expensive. It smells better. The Klotz oil, you can definitely tell whoever's running Klotz. The smell is distinctive for sure. But we like the Red Armor. Ever since we've run Red Armor for the last 2.5, 3 years, never had an issue with a saw again. So Gramp usually mixes closer to 50 to 1. I mix closer to 40 to 1. I like it to be a little richer, if anything. I tend to run my saws leaned out a little bit more than he does. And it's just to each their own, I guess. Yeah, Cody doesn't like the smell of Klotz. I did. I love the smell of Klotz with race oil, so. All right, so Jason's going to call and get the supplier for the order and get it put in after Hoosier for the pants. So we'll get kind of done doing that. I used to race ATVs. I raced Yamaha Banshees, and after that I went to the open class GNC hair scrambles, and I ran a 660 Raptor that was bored to a 720 with a Pro Stadium motor in it, and we ran all over Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, as far down as New York in some of the areas, and ran back and forth. If it's fast and loud and has a motor, I want to try it out, and I'm not usually the easiest on it. It's just, it is what it is. I like anything that goes fast. So race sleds, I had drag sleds that we raced on ice, and then we did a little bit of snowcross racing, but not much. But I like racing. I like anything that's fast. Yep, my buddy had a Quadzilla, and the Raptor that I had was faster than the Quadzilla. The Banshee wasn't quite. It was faster out of the hole, but not on the top end. The Quadzillas were, for their time, they were an absolute animal. I had the first Yamaha Raptor that came to the state of Maine back in 2001, and I started racing that up here, and we ran that for, I don't know, I think I ran that for 2.5 years or so. So, all right, I got you, Ron. I'll make sure to let Jason know. Yep, one of the guys that used to run with me, he had a 250R that he ran. He ran it in the 250 class, plus he ran it in the open class too. And then that was pretty cool. From that, I went to street bikes. I had crotch rockets and stuff like that. And then as I got older and needed to slow down, I switched to noisemakers and I went to Harleys. They make noise and just go slower. So a little safer that way. Yep, they had a few of the 250Rs around. We had a couple of them up this way for a while. Yeah, those 525s are a handful. I got on one of those, John, and holy smokes, that was definitely a definitely a handful. So Jason's interested in pants. So once I get that information from Logger Jason, I will get everybody and go from there, and we'll get everything going. Yeah, let's see here. Cody Harrison, how's the log supply? I've got all the logs I want right now. The weather is the biggest thing that's holding us up. We are so soft and so wet everywhere right now. It is hard to get in to deliver and hard to do any of that stuff. So it's definitely a struggle right now. We're in mud season, right in the height of it. And it's probably going to be a month or so before things dry out. So we got to make some restaurant deliveries this week before we go. And I've got 2 residential deliveries that we need to make. And then we'll go from there. It's a struggle this time of year for sure. So Carl Mowers raced snowmobiles, drag racing, his Arctic Cat, deck board and ported, dual Mikuni carbs, racing clutch. So I had a 2001 SRX 700 with a 1080 Open Pro Lake Mod motor on it. Had a shaved track. We ran it on ice and asphalt, both. I did not do well with it on asphalt, did excellent with it on ice. But spent too much money on those things and not a lot of return, that's for sure. Got 7 full cord out Monday to Friday. That's a good week. That's a good week for sure. We've been averaging 10 to 15 cord. I've got probably 20 of that 50 cord left in the yard right now, maybe a bit more. But it's definitely interesting. Carl Moore's, I ran chisel tooth studs. I ran sharpened chisel tooth studs, 244 pattern, and I had them sharpened to about a 25-degree angle with a flat point. Just one of those things. You get the need for speed, and you can't get enough of it once you get it. It usually just makes me grin. I always told anybody if anything bad ever happened, they'd find my great big smile implanted in something. But I don't know. I've always liked to go fast. As I've gotten older, I've mellowed out quite a bit, but we'll go from there. So Logger Jason sent me a text message and I saw it about the pants. I'm not sure what it is. I'll read it after the live, but I will put in a video and we will let everybody know Wednesday night what the deal is with those, and we'll see if we can get that worked out and taken care of. If anybody wants fire starters at Hoosier and you're going to be at Hoosier, let me know so that I can make sure I earmark them for you and I don't sell them. So if there are a quantity that you want, let me know. I am going to be selling 100, 200, and 300 count boxes of fire starters. With the new freight rates that we have with Pirate Ship, thanks to Bill Saflarski, we can ship much cheaper. I can make it more affordable. So we'll have 100, 200, and 300 count boxes that will be able to be shipped to the public all over the place, and that'll be a help because some people don't want 300, especially if it's a new customer. They don't necessarily want to buy 300 to try if they're not already selling fire starters, and I understand that. So hopefully this 100 and 200 count will definitely help. Daniel, you count. I saw your comments on some of the videos that you were going to be at Hoosier in spirit. I hope you're there in dry spirit, because by the sound it's going to be a little damp. And I'm okay with getting wet, I guess. I'll bring a rain jacket. I'll bring extra clothes. I won't melt. But yeah, we'll see. I'm not sure. Sherry used to race saws. All right, Sherry's a badass. That's what we like right there. So I had a couple of buddies up here that used to race saws. I'm actually bringing a decked imported saw to Hoosier with me. It's not my saw, but it's my buddy Dave's. So I'm going to bring that down. I want to run it next to Heath's saw and see if Heath's new 7310 will get it done. We'll find out. I know the 372 that I'm running, it's not the best built 372. It's stout, but it's not anything special. So we'll put it beside it, and if nothing else, they'll both make a lot of noise, and we'll be able to grin and have some fun. So that'll be cool too. Yeah, if I had all the money back, boy oh boy. Robert Daigle, Gramp's cupboard needs a few more bucks. $20 to the wood bank. There you go. Well, thank you very much, Robert. Robert did that last live too. So there's an extra 20 bucks for Gramp's wood cupboard. Gramp's wood cupboard is doing absolutely awesome, and it's all because of the support from you guys, and we couldn't do it without you, that's for sure. It's really, really cool to see how well that's taken off, and to see the interest from some of the other people in the community as well. I got a couple of tree services. I can't get free wood myself, but they're willing to drop off free wood for the wood bank. So we're gonna end up with some free wood, and that's good. They heard about the wood bank. They want to offer it to the wood bank. So if that's what they want to do, we will take all they want to drop off, and then we'll go from there. So that was pretty cool. I was kind of grinning a little bit. They called and they wanted to give wood to the wood bank, but a little while ago they were trying to sell it to me. So, but it's for a good cause, so we'll definitely take it, and that's a good thing. So Logger Jason's bringing a ported 395 down as well. So there'll probably be plenty of saws there to play with. I think I'm gonna have 3 or 4 saws with me, maybe. I'm not sure. I might have 5. I'm waiting on a couple of new ones to show up, and if they show up, then I'll bring them with me. If not, I'll bring what I had intended on bringing to begin with, which is the 2 Echoes and the 372. But if I get my new saws, we'll go from there. And those came from sawsupplier.com too, but one of them got sent away to have a little work done to it first. And we're not going to give any more information or anything about that until it comes out in the videos. Oh, Bert's here for a few minutes again. Are you bringing any Maine lobster to Hoosier? It's not lobster season right now, Joe, but if we do get out there for either the Bunyan show or something like that, we could probably bring some lobster out and go from there. But lobster right now is a little pricey up here because it's not peak season. If we get it when the tourists are here, I can get it off the boat for a pretty reasonable price. And it was good to see you here too, Joe. All right. Yeah, the 620 is a really nice saw, Jason. I don't know why more people aren't running them. For the price that they are, I don't think you can get hurt with those 620s at all. And you could buy one of those and deck import it for less money than you're going to spend for a 562. So, I mean, really, really nice saws. Nice saws for sure. And with them decked imported, they'll pull a 28 or a 32-inch bar if you want to run big wood. So I don't know why more people aren't buying them. It's a really nice saw. They turn up good. They're smooth. They start good. It's just a really nice all-around chainsaw. And the best part is you can work on it with one of these and you don't need a computer. So that right there, that's worth it. If you're going to get more of them, Jason, use that saw supplier discount. You'll save yourself some money. And if you got bars for them already and you don't need bars, you can buy just a bare power head and get even better deals. So again, anybody looking for Husky, FCO, Echo, saws, trimmers, backpack blowers, all of that stuff, use Willey 10, Willey 10 in your discount code on sawsupplier.com. You'll get 10% off. You're not going to find the saws cheaper anywhere else. I did some looking around. I looked at what I paid through my local dealer. Had I gone through Saw Supplier, I would have saved myself almost $400. So that's almost the cost of another 620. If I had been able to save $400, I probably would have bought 2 of the 620s, or I probably would have bought a 501 at the same time. So really, really great deals. The Echo saws, the warranty and all that stuff is really nice. The Husqvarna Auto Tune just need to do a tuning cut and they will do just fine. I'm going to get some Husky saws, Bert, because I want to try some of the new Huskies and I want to see how they do. So we'll go from there. They do have electric saws, Denny Hart, so if you're looking for battery-powered saws, they do have battery-powered. I don't know if they have Ego. I'm not sure. But that's the problem. When you deal with a dealer, you have to do that. Saw Supplier will take care of all of your dealer warranty issues and everything. They're really great to work with. I have not heard one person that has had a bad experience with Saw Supplier, and that is why I am so happy that they reached out and are willing to do something with us, because really, really nice that we go from there. Yeah, I don't know how they add the 3 pounds either. That 501 is a really, really light saw. So, really nice. So, I saw those Husky deals through the dealers, Iffy Kid, because I was looking before Saw Supplier reached out to me, and they're really not that great of a deal when you have Echo. And honestly, I've had Shindawa saws, which are Echoes. They're the same thing as the 620. I've had some of them for 6 and 7 years now. I've got 4 altogether. I've never had an issue where I've had to have a warranty of any kind on any of those saws. So I wouldn't be worried at all about going back to something like Saw Supplier and buying them offline. It's definitely had a bad experience with them. I want Red Armor mixes, and they're always out of stock. Yeah, Husky dealers may where you are, but our Husky dealer up here won't, Bert. You pay what you pay, and he'll tell you right up front that he's not making enough money on the Husky saws, and he'll push Echo all day long. But he's got the Husky saws sitting right there because he sells Husky and Echo together. And I don't know, Gramp ran Husky for a long time, and we didn't have good experience the last few saws with him, so we switched, and we're going from there. We're running Echo right now, but like I said, I'm going to grab, especially working with Saw Supplier now, I'm going to grab a couple Husky saws, and we're going to try them. We're going to see. But Gramp's really liking the 7310 now that it's broke in, and I've tuned it and got it sitting where he wants. He likes it. Carl Lewis, man with a plan. Good evening, my friend. Good to see you. So I'm not one way or the other. I'd love to grab a couple of steel saws just to have to play around. And then go from there. So the Red Max saws were basically kind of an off-brand of a, I don't know, I think they were a John Surrett of some kind. We had a Red Max dealer up here for a little while, but they didn't sell much, and their service was terrible. And I hadn't heard of them a whole lot, so I never really pushed to get a Red Max saw. I miss the Dolmar saws. We had a Dolmar dealer up here that was fantastic. He retired. When he retired, the service went down the hill, the sales went down the hill. He was a dealer that if you went in and said, I want to buy 3 or 4 saws, you weren't going to get a better deal anywhere. But that disappeared when he went away. Dolmar saws were really, really nice torquey saws. They lasted really well. You could buy a 6100 and put the 7900 top end on it when it got tired, and you'd have an 80cc saw without having to buy another one. So the Huskies, Gramp's smaller Huskies, the 357s and the 359s, we have trouble with the clutches on them. And we also have trouble with running them really hard and really hot, filling them back up, they'll vapor lock almost every single time. They've changed lines, they've changed filters, they've changed all kinds of stuff. Doesn't get any better. And his 372, that's been a really, really, really nice saw. That's probably 20 years old. It's been rebuilt 3 or 4 times now at this point. That's just an old, well-worn saw. Still runs decent. It pulls a lot before it starts. Gramp's shoulder's not great. So having a saw that starts, especially a bigger saw, in 1 or 2 pulls makes all the difference in the world. We ran the earlier 562 XPs, and I'll tell you right now, Gramp could kill one in about 2 weeks. So those 562s, when they first came out, boy, oh boy, they left a sour taste, but lots of people had trouble with them. And it's part of it's the way that Gramp runs a saw too. So I've got to keep that in mind when I get stuff, because he's hard on it. He doesn't run saw like a normal person does. He whines at them, and they get 3 or 4 hard, straight ahead hours of work before they get put up. And that's hard on a saw for sure. But yeah, so that's kind of cool. That was something new, the saw supplier thing. I actually came home, was checking email when I got home, and I saw that in my email. So I went ahead and I threw the link on my Facebook page. We'll have it on the videos. But it's just a way for you guys to save some money if you're looking for an Echo or a Husky saw. And like I said, we're going to grab a couple Husky saws too, because I want to be able to compare back and forth. I want to have some stuff for content for the channel. We use saws enough that I'm not worried about having an extra saw or 2 around. That's not going to hurt a thing. And you may even see a steal here and there. I almost had a awesome deal on a 500i down the road. I've heard mixed reviews about them. I haven't ran one myself, but I could have picked one up for $1,100 if I was quick enough. I was not quick enough. So luckily for my bank account, we're still gonna be okay for a little bit. Yeah, the old 44s. There's a guy down the road, that's what he runs. So Dennis Rexford has a 395 XP I can use. I've toted the big saws. I don't mind the big saws at all. The 372 that Dave's got's got a 24-inch bar on it right now. I don't know. I don't like the 24-inch bar. I like a shorter bar. I'm just used to it. Gramps broke me in, so I'm used to running the short bars. It's just, it is what it is. And especially if you got wood that's not bigger than that anyway, you don't need all the bar. If you got something to hold it up, you can use your saw. But yeah, there was a builder up here for a while, and he was all over Facebook and places like that. Powers Performance Work Saws. He sent a bunch of saws out to a bunch of different guys, and he was kind of all over the internet for a little while. He built some really nice 562s, but they were short-lived animals. They were running a little on the ragged edge, but he could run a 36-inch bar on that 562, and it would just pull and eat. Really, really nice running saws, but they didn't last long. Yeah, so the pole wood that we cut, we run a 20-inch bar. 20-inch bar is just what we like. That's what we're used to. So it is what it is, and that's what we do. And I hear every single video, oh, save your back, buy a longer bar, stand up and buck. Buck and Billy says this. I get it. I understand all of that. But the way that we cut and the way that we do things, the 20-inch bar, it's just, I think it's safer all the way around, and it's just easier to maneuver. Tom's Firewood, good evening, buddy. Good to see you. Appreciate you stopping by. So, again, anybody going to Hoosier, I will have channel stickers. I will have the new stickers that we've made as well. For those of you that haven't seen them, we'll have the Where's the Firewood stickers, WTF. We will have Kevin's Zackley sticker. And we will have the Make Firewood Great Again stickers as well with us, and our regular channel stickers. So we'll have a bunch of that stuff. We'll have some shirts and hats. If you don't have what you need when you see me, that's okay. We will go ahead and order and write down, make a list. We'll get everybody everything that they want, and we'll go from there. Don't be discouraged if you don't get what you want, because I only have so much room when I'm packing to come down, and I'm going to bring what I can, and then if we don't have enough or if we run out of something, I'll get you what you need. So don't worry, have no fear. We'll make sure that you get whatever you need. Ooh, that went down the wrong tube. All right, so Hearth Haven Firewood, 20-inch bar most of the time too. That's what I was raised with, working in the woods with Gramp. Up here in Maine, we don't have really big trees. You can cut a 4.5 foot plus tree on the stump with a 20-inch bar if you know how to cut and you know what you're doing and pay attention. We don't get a whole lot of trees that size or bigger than that up here, hardly ever. So 20-inch bar is just what the doctor ordered. And Brandon Hood, that orange vanilla Coke is my favorite. I love that stuff. Absolutely love it. And if you put just a little nip of something good in there, oh yeah. No, that stuff's great. I used to make the orange vanilla Coke at Wendy's. That was the only place you could get it. And I would go there just to get a Coke sometimes so I could get orange vanilla. So it's definitely good. Definitely good stuff. I like it. So yeah, no, I've tried it. Really, really good stuff. So we've got, I shipped out probably 25 different orders of Gramp sticks so far. I've got a bunch more emails to check and go through because I shut my email off Thursday and I went through from there. The Blackberry Dr. Pepper with Blackberry Crown Royal is really nice too. I like that. So I don't drink a lot, but when I do, I like something that's good. And man, those are good. So I enjoy it. But we've got 3 or 4 days worth of emails and stuff to catch up on, and then we'll go from that and get all that done. Yep, just a regular old plain cream soda is pretty good too, so can't beat that either. So the Birch series, I don't know if you saw on the last live or not, Denny Hart, but we had the first Birch series roll off the assembly line with the Prince Auto Cycle valves in full black, ready to roll. That's headed to a customer. We're waiting on, oh, let's see. Yep, Black Dog Blackberry is good. I've got some of that right in the cabinet, actually, so I know all about that. But the vertical birch, we're still waiting on some parts. We're going to have probably, I think Bobby said 6 weeks or so for the rest of the parts that we're needing to come in. The regular birch series, the horizontals, those are all kind of moving forward with their progression. He will be letting everybody know as the time gets closer as to when their order and stuff is going to come. And Roger Austin is going to win the lottery and replace his saw with an Easton-made Evo. The Evo has definitely got a lot of attention in the last little bit. And it's a really nice processor, for sure. We have seen it come to many channels. Hometown Acres, Outdoor with the Morgans, Firewood at the Furnace has one. I see Brad Short, he picked one up. They're a really nice processor. It's really well built. It's really well thought out, really well designed. It's definitely one that I would highly consider if we were going to go the route of a processor. But at the same point in time, I'm also the type of person that likes to be different. So I don't know. I don't know if I would jump on the Evo train or if I would go a completely different route, because I like to be different. I don't like to be the same. That's kind of why I was excited that I went to Allwood, because everybody else had Wolfridge and Easton made and everything else. It was during the time of COVID. Lead times were getting crazy. I just happened to catch on and find the muscle wood that I bought, and it was available, so I grabbed it. And I tell you right now, fantastic splitter. More than happy with it. Really, 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 really nice machines. The new muscle wood, it's 10 times the machine that the old one was. It's just so fast, so smooth, and so powerful. I always ran Yamaha snow sleds because everybody else ran Cat and Skidoo. I didn't want to be the same as everybody else. They used to call it Yama Dogs. I ran my Yama Dogs and I never had to work on them. They were dependable, and most of the time it took a pretty good sled to go around me. Biggest saw I've ever ran, I ran a 395 that was decked imported that belonged to a tree service company. And that was a really nice saw. It was a handful. It was heavy. Had a 3-foot bar on it. Yep, Yamaha. I heard that one before too, Brandon. But yeah, the 395 is probably the biggest saw I ran. I don't need anything that size for what I do. Even working in the woods when I'm cutting for the skidder, a 372 or a 70cc saw is absolutely fantastic. I mean, it's just the right size. So Shotlift Family Firewood brought up something interesting, because I was talking to somebody else about this, and they said all the talk about the Evo and no one's mentioning the Blockbuster that Chris is running. They seem to be getting some work done with that. I'll tell you right now, the Blockbuster is a very reliable, very dependable, simple processor that does not require a whole lot of extra work. So it's absolutely fantastic to see all the different things that are coming. But when you look at the Blockbuster is kind of tried and true, and it's been around for a long time. There are guys that have run those Blockbusters for a long, long time and had really good luck coming from them. Tom's Firewood, what do you think sets you apart from your competitors? Well, there's a few things, Tom. One is I work in the wintertime and my competitors don't like to work because it's cold and snowy. And two, we do firewood year-round. There are a lot of guys around here that come wintertime or come mud season, they stop. They don't do it. We sell firewood year-round. We give a good, honest measure, and we show up when we say we're going to show up. If I tell you I'm going to be there Monday morning, we're there Monday morning. So we just try to do the best we can. That, and I've got the best firewood help in the wood yard anywhere on YouTube, or anywhere for that matter, period, with Gramp and Kevin. So Tim Poor's got a Bloodwood diesel all wood, and he said he ran some nasty tree service wood through the box wedge this week. I bet that tree service wood didn't stand a chance. Let's see, what do we got here? Yeah, Gramp and Kevin make me different for sure. Nobody's got a Gramp and nobody's got a Kevin. So if we're looking for personnel for what makes me different, that's what makes me different. But we do what needs to be done. We don't have a whole lot of fancy equipment around here. We still do it the hard way. And that's mostly because of Gramp, because I wouldn't be doing it the hard way if I didn't have to. Our roadside racks, Big Chevy just commented, our roadside racks are a huge part of our business throughout the winter. We sell anywhere from 2 to 5 full cord of wood a week right from our roadside racks right here in my front yard. They'll go from November to March that way. Then they'll slow down a little bit, and as soon as end of April, 1st of May hits and camping season picks up, we'll go right back to 2 to 3, 4, 5 cord a week out of those all summer long. So definitely some things that we do a little different. We have the only roadside racks of that kind of volume anywhere around for quite a ways. There are some other stuff around, but that, that's just here and there. Is there an app for roadside stands? No, but there ought to be. That would be kind of cool, to be able to see where your roadside stands are and know where to go get your firewood. That would be a very cool thing, Vic, for sure. That is a curveball. No, there isn't. Not that I know of, anyway. That's pretty cool. I like that. That's something to think about. Yeah, Big Chevy, he comes up and he grabs the wood out of the racks most of the winter, and he appreciates it. He says it burns just fine, so. I don't get any complaints. Everybody seems to pitch a fit that it's not truly seasoned, but I get zero complaints out of any of the wood sold out of those racks any time of the year. It doesn't matter what time of year it is. Yeah, you could do something like that with Uber Eats or whatever. You know, somebody could order their food and their firewood and have them swing by and pick it up and deliver it all at the same time. DoorDash. Arthur Bowers, I haven't decided yet. I was thinking about it, and I've looked around. There's hotels around, so we'll see. We'll see what's going on, but that's definitely interesting. Anyone with a saw and truck can cut all the ash they want at Brandon Hode's place, so that's pretty awesome right there. And Big Chevy's got a fire going right now with the wood from the roadside rack. Says it burns fantastic. So there you go, guys. My green wood burns great. So a week from Wednesday, the new machine should be here pending weather. Logger Jason's got a new machine coming next week. And I'm interested and I'm excited to see what he's got coming. I kind of know what it is already, but I'm not telling you guys. You'll have to stay tuned. So if you need ash, all you got to do is ride to New York and Brandon will give you all you want. I know it's too long of a ride for me. So. And Mike from Lake Ontario Firewood says if you weren't so far away, he'd take you up on that too. So ash is definitely a nice thing to have. I didn't get any ash in the last loads of firewood that we got. Maybe 2 cords out of 50, if that. But I'd say probably less than that. So hopefully next batch will have some more, and then we'll go from there. Oh, Mike, only an hour and a half. That's not bad. That's not bad. That's almost worth a ride. It would be worth a ride if it was an hour and a half from me. I'd take my dump trailer and stack it just as full as I could get it, and I'd probably fill the Tundra too. Just don't tell DOT. Oh, Logger Jason will bring the harvester up, Brandon. He'll come clear cut it for you. Stand back. Ship it to Maine, Jason. Ship it to Maine. They wouldn't let you come across the border with it being ash, but that's all right. Yeah, the Grand Cherokee's not going to fit much, that's for sure. So you need to locate a trailer, or you need to get a friend with a pickup truck and a dump trailer and work something out. The suspense. Logger Jason's keeping a tight lip on it. He's not telling. So that's awesome. So yeah, we're gonna keep an eye on the weather. And Rob, outside in the 515, I'm kind of glad that you brought that up. I've been doing some thinking. And I was wondering how I was going to get splitters back and forth from Michigan to Maine and things like that when we start doing our dealer stock and stuff. I don't want to pay the freight, and I like to drive. So I started looking at old race car trailers with campers built into the front of them, because I have a Class A, and small single axle trucks to pull them with. I think I found the setup that I want. I found a 48-foot with a 28-foot garage portion and a 20-foot camper portion, all self-contained in the trailer with a generator, with water, with plumbing, everything that you need, and the truck to pull it with for about 48,000 bucks. And I could probably fit 4 to 6 splitters in that, depending on which splitters. We could take it to shows, camp in it at the shows, not have to have a hotel, and be able to go to and from with everything in one shot. So I'm looking into doing something like that possibly. It probably won't be this particular one because I'm not ready to go just yet. Yeah, kind of like a toy hauler, but it doesn't look like a camper from the outside. If you look at it from the outside, it looks just like a regular old flat-sided enclosed trailer, but the front portion of it is all a camper. You see a couple of windows on each side, but that's it. There's just like 2 windows. So The tags and insurance for that wouldn't be too bad if you're not using it commercially. So that's what I got to figure out. Technically, the log splitters are mine and they're being sold to me. So we'll go for there and then see what's happening. As far as Ohio goes, you're close to Michigan. You can run right up to Bobby and grab an Allwood. He'll get you. It's going to take a while to kind of get caught up and to get some dealer inventory built. We're going to shuffle some stuff around when I sell the house and do that. And I know from my previous trucking experience and from riding with my friend Todd for the years that I rode with him, if you have your own business and your own stuff, you can absolutely, you can take 7 trips out of state and back wherever you're going a year without having to have apportioned plates on the truck. And I won't have more than 7 trips that we're taking between shows and picking up dealer stock once we're going, I hope. If it's more than that, then I'll probably pay the freight and have somebody haul them. But we'll see. We'll see. So it's something that I've been toying with. My buddy Dave, he put the little inkling into my brain, and I just couldn't stop. So I got on Marketplace and I started looking, and it's never good when I go to Marketplace and I start looking. So we plugged away, we looked around, and yeah, I've got some options. So we'll see where it goes, that's for sure. I think I missed a couple of things here. Let's see. So it's federal law that if it's for your own use, you're allowed so many trips out of state. State law right now, I can go wherever I want in state. Out of state, once I go out of state, I'm only allowed a certain number of trips, and it has to be for my own stuff. $48,000 won't buy much freight. That's the problem. So when you start looking at sending a truck all the way from Michigan to here, up here in Maine, nobody likes to come to Maine and deadhead because there's not a lot of flatbed freight head back out unless you're hauling lumber. And lumber is mostly tied up with the mills that are already selling it, and they don't pay a whole lot to truck it. So it's not a good place to get flatbed freight back out of. So you're going to either come out with a cheap load and not make a lot of money, or you're going to head all the way back down towards Massachusetts area to be able to pick up a decent load. I used to do a lot of freight brokering when I ran the bakery. And with freight prices the way they are right now, $48,000 it wouldn't take but 1 year probably, and I would pay for my new idea. So we'll play around with it a little bit. May not ever come to fruition, but it's something to look into. I'm cheap, guys. I'm gonna be the first one to tell you I'm cheap. If I tell you something's good or I tell you something's worth it, definitely worth looking into, because I don't like spending money. So if I tell you that something's good, definitely worth looking into. Yeah, Facebook Marketplace is never good. Every time I get on there, it costs me money. I end up buying things like a laser that's sitting over here to my right that I haven't even tried to go for. Yeah, it's a camper. So if you're not hiring it out and it's not hired out, so if it's coming back to me, it's not hired out. So it's one of those deals. I got to look into it. I'm going to call the Motor Carrier Association here in Maine, and we're going to plug it away and go from there. So time frame in my house to sell the new house. We're going to list the new house for sale within the next 2 to 3, the house we're in currently, in the next 2 to 3 weeks. The day that this place goes under contract to sell, we will break ground and start firing on all cylinders next door, and we will open up Pandora's box and see what we get ourselves into. It's going to be a whirlwind. I've got contractors tentatively lined up for everything, every single piece, and then go from there, and then do what we need to do. John says, do you think it would be better to look into a gooseneck trailer with a rolling tarp system? You'd be able to maximize your available deck space and trade for hotel expense. Possibly, depending on what the weight ends up going to. when you start looking at weight, I want to stay under my heavy use tax. So I want to stay under a combined weight of 55,000. If I can stay under 55,000, that really limits my heavy use, and that'll definitely be a something to look into, because some of these splitters, when you start looking at the Bloodwoods, they're heavy. When you're talking 4,000 or 5,000 pounds of splitter, it doesn't take many splitters between truck, trailer, and cargo before I'm up over that 55,000. So need to get figure it. I'm gonna have to do some thinking and go from there. But having the camper portion on it helps to make it a little bit better. So if the camper's there and it's not for hire, it's a recreational vehicle, there's no reason for them to know what's in it or what's not being there. I understand there's rules, but sometimes they need to be just a little gray. My hot shock rig was registered at 43,000, was able to max my 35-foot gooseneck trailer's payload. So a 35-foot gooseneck would probably work pretty well. If I did it, I'd want a beaver tail gooseneck or something like that. But the nice thing with the toy hauler or the race car hauler is they're only about that far from the ground in the back, which isn't good when you're coming in and out of places. But it's definitely much easier to load and unload. What I was gonna do, well, the one I was looking at, Robert, already has a bigger truck with it. So I covered all the bases at once. If I could just swipe and write the check, we're good. So it's definitely definitely interesting. But I don't know, it's just, my brain never stops, guys. You never know what's gonna come next or what's gonna happen next. I've got tons of stuff that I'm working on and that I'm trying to do and trying to go with. And that I've been working on a few of these things for quite a while. If I could get just a couple of them to go, it would be really great. But once one or two or three of those things happen, we'll have to switch around and go from there. Yeah, hydraulic tail trailers suck. You're absolutely right, John. I had a hydraulic tail trailer that I ran for quite a while. That thing was miserable. So yeah, I'm 110% with you from there. Yeah, you can buy a really nice tractor for less than a 1-ton pickup. So truck, trailer, and everything that I was looking at was $48,000. It had a Freightliner business class with 5 air ride seats, had the nice Western hauler body on the back with the pintle. The trailer was a 48-foot trailer, 24-foot camper, 20-foot camper, 28-foot garage space in the back, built-in generator, all the stuff that you need to go. All you have to do is turn the key and go. And from there, it was a really, really nice rig, color matched. I mean, can't ask for better. It didn't have many miles, had 163,000 miles on it, 8.3 Cummins with an Allison auto. Really, really nice. I actually got to look, Jonathan. I saw a used Musclewood on Marketplace, and I got to see if I can find it again, and see where they go. This one did not have an RV title, John from Mount Tammany. I did check that, because if they have an RV title with them, that opens a whole nother can of worms. So did not have an RV title. It was a clear commercial title, so that was all set. I did quite a bit of looking at this earlier, guys. I've gotten myself into worse pickles before. So have a good night, Chuck and Zach. We'll see you guys on the next one. But yeah, it's one of those things. I was thinking about it, and I thought about going to the shows, and I thought about everywhere that we go back and forth, and the charity events and this and that. If we could, I wanted one of the tracked wheeled dolly loaders to load and unload the splitters off the truck and trailer. I believe it was in Maryland, Jonathan. I'm not 100% sure. I got to look. I saw it when I was at my son's hockey tournament, and I thought of you, and I tried to save it, and I didn't. So I got to go back and look. But yeah, so just some of the things that my harebrained ideas do. Picked up a 16,000 pound trailer yesterday for the wheel loader. I'm sure the DOT will tell me what I'm doing wrong. Oh yeah, they will. Oh yeah, they will. And that's why I like the enclosed trailer piece too, because if it's enclosed, nobody sees what I'm carrying. If they don't see what I'm carrying, they can't complain about it, right, Tim? That's the way I look at it. And if it says not for hire on the side, it's not for hire. So we don't worry about it. I'll worry about it after the fact when somebody tells me that I'm doing something wrong. But technically, if I go and pick them up as dealer stock, they're all going to be in my name anyway, so it's my stuff. And exactly what John from Mount Tammany said right there. Every DOT officer I've ever talked to tells me something different. We used to teach towing and recovery for AAA, and we used to do load securement classes. And we had 4 different DOT guys come to 4 different classes, and all 4 told us something different, and all 4 of them were wrong according to the Federal Motor Carriers Association. And when we told them and we proved to them that they were wrong, they told us that we didn't know what we were talking about. So it all depends on who you meet and how you deal with them. And the best thing to say is yes sir, no sir, or I don't know sir. And that's easier to go than that. If you're willing to work with them and you're willing to be decent, they'll use you decent. If you come across and you want to rub them the wrong way, they got the ticket book. They can write you out of service with a brand new truck just as easy as they can write you out of service with a 30-year-old truck. So just be nice. That's it. Just be nice. Yeah, no, that's what it is. They leave it open to their interpretation of the law, and I don't know how many times I've heard that my interpretation is this. Well, that's wonderful, and there were a couple of times that my friend Todd, he actually went to court and fought for a few times because it saved a bunch of money and got out of some of the situations that we were in, but he really liked to argue. I don't like to argue. Yes sir, no sir, what do you need? How can I help you? Is there anything I can do better for you? And, deal with them, get through, get in, get out, be gone. And if I can show them that, 3 states away, I just had a clean swing through, not a single issue. They went through the truck top to bottom. I get bothered a whole lot less when I come through the next one. So I try to work with them as best I can. I just think it's a better practice and policy than trying to be an asshole. No, I know, Jason. I know. That's the absolute worst part of the whole thing. And Iffy Kid just said it right. It doesn't cost them a single thing to write a ticket, but it costs them to go to court. So they're not going to go to court. Yeah, no. Sometimes when you're out there just trying to make a living and they're trying to be a pain in the ass, it makes it hard. And sometimes biting your tongue, you can only bite it so long, and then you got to say something. And I get it. I do. I've been there before, but I try to be really, really nice if I can help it. Honey versus vinegar. So we're into overtime. If anybody's got anything else they want to talk about, we can. And then if not, I'm going to go back to Facebook Marketplace and keep looking for my my next toy hauler and go from there. Russ, before the end of the night, after my short this week that went crazy, I'm at 835 subscribers. I can see the 1K from here. Brian, that is awesome. I've been watching your channel for quite a while, and I don't know why you don't have more subscribers than you do. And I'm very glad to hear that. So if anybody here hasn't subscribed to Shotlift Family Firewood yet, make sure you go on over and give them a subscribe and check them out. They've got the coolest roadside firewood stand out there. And it's going to be a fire truck when it's all said and done. So that's really awesome. And glad to hear that. Roger, we're headed to Indiana Thursday morning. And we're going to leave out of here bright and early Thursday morning. We'll be in Indiana Friday and Saturday. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Maryland and it was orange. So I will look. There was a couple of Allwoods for sale, but I only found one the other day. So they're out there. Craig rode in the firewood truck at the stand. It was awesome. There you go. That's awesome. And Daniel just put the link to Shotlift Family Firewood there in the description. Daniel is an awesome guy, and I don't know why he doesn't have more subscribers either, because Daniel is such a huge help to the Woodhound community. So that's just awesome. Absolutely awesome. And if you haven't checked out Jason at Yadkin Valley, make sure you check him out too. He's only got 300 subscribers, but he stays busy. He's one of the good old boys down there. And he definitely stays busy, and he's always got something going on. And I think he has the fastest splitter I've seen on YouTube. Hands down. He has a kinetic splitter that is just flat out dangerous fast. And Craig's Cord to Coles has been subbed to Daniel for years. Daniel is awesome. And I can't wait until next year. Maybe we'll bring our new toy hauler setup, or our not-for-hire setup, out to Oregon, and I'll take my mobile abode with me, and we'll bring some splitters out for the West Coast to play with, because I think the West Coast needs some all-wood splitters. The Digit Deleter 3000. Absolutely. That thing is fast. The thing is crazy fast. That's definitely supposed to be, yeah, the DataQ website. I knew what you were talking about, John. All right, we'll see you Wednesday night too, Ted. We're gonna pack up. I'm gonna pack up Wednesday night, put everything in the truck, and then Thursday, as soon as Kevin's out of work, we're heading, and we're gonna take off and go. I've got a 15.5-hour ride to get to Hoosier from from my house, not counting stops and everything else. So we're going to have some multiple gas stops on the way down, because the Tundra is not fuel efficient, but it gets us where we're going. And we'll go down for a good cause to the Hoosier Firewood Hysteria. We'll bring the all wood down. We'll bring some of the main muscle down, and we'll bring the muscle wood with us. And Heath is bringing an 8-way wedge and his work table. I'm really hoping that we can get a conveyor to stick in front of the all wood, because as fast as that muscle wood is, to not have a conveyor, somebody's either going to have some really sore arms, or we're going to have a big pile of wood in a hurry that's not going to go anywhere. So definitely going to do a lot of firewood. Britt, we will try to record as much as we possibly can when we're at Hoosier. We've got a bunch of videos to record while we're at Hoosier too. We're going to do some saw testing. We're going to do a bunch of stuff while we're there. It's going to be a really good time. I'm either going to have 4 or 6 saws that we're bringing with us. And if I don't have the other 2, then they'll be on a video later on. But we've got some stuff coming to the channel for sure that's going to definitely change things around a little bit and hopefully make things a little easier. And then we'll go from there. Nodos and energy drinks. I like coffee, because coffee gives me a reason to stop and pee. I can only go about 275 to 300 miles before the truck needs a drink anyway, so I don't have a whole long time to sit in the truck before I got to be back out and refueling, so we'll go from there. Kevin Harvey, good to see you, my friend. I wasn't missing anybody. I took some time off to go to Richard's hockey tournament. The videos will start back up again like normal tomorrow. Probably be a little bit of a gap here and there in between, because we've got Hoosier Firewood Hysteria, so we got some days of travel in there, but we'll do everything that we need to do. Yeah, real maple syrup in that coffee, Brandon. Absolutely. I got mine from Tim and Sarah from Neighborly Homestead, and that stuff is great. I love my maple syrup. Can't get enough of it. So their team actually ended up finishing 7th out of 8 teams. It's definitely a different league of hockey. Those boys that we played were in a completely different league than what we were. The last game that they played this morning before we headed home, they actually held on and lost by 1 goal, 3-2, and played probably the best hockey that we saw them play all year long. They played really well as a team, and it did an excellent job. So really cool to watch them play together. And overall, they had a good time. So I missed some stuff in here. Yeah, that kinetic splitter was absolutely smoking that was on Yadkin's channel. I've seen kinetic splitters move, but not like that. That's crazy. definitely a digit deleter on that one. I'd be more worried about the wood kicking sideways and catching me, because you're standing at a wrong spot, that's for sure. Yadkin Valley, what brand is that kinetic splitter that you're running? Beef jerky and Powerade. Yep, I like beef jerky. Beef jerky and a bottle of water if I'm just trying to keep myself occupied. If I need a little caffeine, coffee or a Coke. Sportsman Earth Series, 19 ton, Jonathan. Sportsman Earth Series, 19 ton. No, Big Chevy, if you have not checked out Foothills Firewood channel, he's got a short of him running that splitter, and that thing is just stupid fast. I mean, it's just lightning quick. It's enough so that it's definitely attention grabbing, that's for sure. Yeah, sometimes when you light on fire, it's no good. That's for sure. Twizzlers. My wife does Twizzlers. Every time we go on a road trip, Twizzlers. Twizzlers. Yep, no, he'll be more comfortable next year. The problem with the youth hockey that we have is about 6 or 7 years ago, they changed the ruling to no checking until 14U. And when they go to 14U, then they can start checking. So with Richard being so much bigger than all the other kids, all he's got to do is bump them. And once he bumps them, they fall over and he's getting sent to the penalty box. So really not cool. And he's so much bigger than all the other kids, he's not as quick on his feet. So they kind of go around him, when if they could check, he could just go through him and he wouldn't have to worry about it. He did spend some time in the penalty box this weekend because he got frustrated a couple of times and took matters into his own hands and sorted it out. And without saying anything, he just skated right to the penalty box and got in. He knew he was going to sit for a minute and he went from there. So definitely figured out what a penalty was and wasn't. And he got a little sneakier about getting away with it towards the end of it, and the coach was actually proud of him. The last game, he actually got a few licks in and didn't end up getting any penalties called. So definitely pretty cool. Oh yeah, Mount Tammany, we dicker for everything. I don't pay full price or asking price for anything. Nothing at all. All right, sounds good, Mike. Have a good night. I like dickering. That's half the fun in anything. A little bartering, a little swapping, a little trading, a little less money, you know, whatever it is. I like playing around with that stuff, so that's pretty good. I do have some new toys to debut on the channel that we got in the mail from some companies, so we'll have some stuff to take care of some of that stuff. And Down East Dickering was all started because of the Uncle Henry's magazine. It was a published classified that we used to have up here. And they actually stopped printing the Uncle Henrys about 2 or 3 years ago. So there is no more Uncle Henrys. Facebook Marketplace put them out of business, which is sad. But we've got Marketplace still, and we can go from there. But Marketplace is hit or miss. You get some real characters on Marketplace from time to time, that's for sure. But all right, we're going to call it here, guys. I appreciate you all stopping by. We will see you on Wednesday before we get ready to head out. And we'll do a recap, let you know what we got going. We'll let you know what we're bringing to Hoosier and all the stuff that we have. And then we'll go from there. So I'll look for the all-wood splitter, Jonathan. If I can find it, I'll let you know. And we'll go from there. So have a good night, guys. Appreciate you all stopping by. And we'll see you on the next one.